My name is Jonathan Link, Jonathanlink. I'm the Public Information Officer for the Greenwood Police Department. Thank you all for coming this afternoon. The reason that we're here is, as the billboard that I have to my right, y'all's left, states that we are still working to solve the murder of Cody Hawkins. I want to give you guys a brief rundown on it, and then got a couple of family members here that would like to just share the impact that this has had on their family, and then we'll talk a little bit about the reward that's been available and the tips and how they can be made. So on May 19th at approximately 2:52 in the morning, one of our officers heard shots fired in the area of Pearl Street in the neighborhood. Moments later, our dispatch received a call stating that a woman stated someone had been shot, needed help, needed police. When we got there, we found a vehicle transporting the victim, who turned out to be Mr. Hawkins. He was transported to the hospital, and unfortunately he succumbed to his injuries approximately an hour and a half later in the emergency room. Since that time, our detectives have worked every day to interview people, to look at physical evidence, to look at security video footage from different locations that they could find. And what we found is that so far, the piece that we are missing, the piece that we need, is the people who saw what happened or have heard about it since then. We need them to come forward. So we're here today. We're happy to be joined by Ms. Tracy Fant. She is with Freedom Fighters of the Upstate, and they have been working continuously with the family, trying to organize events, trying to encourage awareness, not only against general gun violence, but also to promote somebody coming forward and doing the right thing and telling us what happened to Mr. Hawkins. At this time, I would like to bring up Ms. Shanna Childs. She is the godmother of Mr. Hawkins, and she's going to tell you just a little bit about who he was and what this means to their family. Ms. Hawkins? Childs.
It's okay. First of all, I just want to say thank you. Thank Greenwood Police Department. Thank Greenwood County. Thank Midlands Crime Stoppers. Thank my Tracy Fant and Freedom Upstate. Thank MCCF for this opportunity. We are delighted that this billboard came up. We're just overwhelmed. Cody was a very humble, laid-back kid that loved family, loved his mom, his dad, his siblings, his son, and we, the family of the late Cody Hawkins. All we want is answers. We want justice. On May 19th, Cody was murdered on the street of Pearl Street. He was gunned down. Somebody knows something. If you know something, say something. If you're associated with someone that knows something, ask them to say something. A person that knows something about what happened on that night and don't say anything, you're just guilty as the person that pulled the trigger. So again, on behalf of the late Cody Hawkins, the Hawkins family, MCCF, we thank you. We thank Midlands Crime Stoppers for this opportunity. When you ride by that billboard, we're hoping and we're praying that you'll look in Cody's eyes, and he's speaking from the grave. Help my family find out who did this to me. Thank you.
As of yesterday, September the 10th, the family was able to work in coordination with Midlands Crime Stoppers, South Carolina, and they have coordinated with Lamar Advertising. We're very proud that this business has donated the space on this billboard for Mr. Hawkins' picture and for the information about the Crime Stoppers, so that we can attempt to encourage people to do the right thing and turn in the person responsible for shooting him. On the billboard, you'll see the name, the Crime Stoppers logo. There is a funded $2,000 cash reward that is available for a tip that leads to the arrest of Mr. Hawkins' murderer. And there are several ways that you can turn this information into law enforcement. Obviously, the easiest way is to call Crime Stoppers at 888-CRIME-SC, and the number is on the billboard. You can also they have a mobile app. It's called P3 Tips. You can download that on any smartphone, and you can anonymously submit information. And the important thing is, when you submit information to Crime Stoppers, none of your identifying information is collected. Name, address, phone number, IP address, email address, none of that stuff is captured. It is completely anonymous, so you can submit that. They will give you a digital ID that will just be for communication with them, and then they can get those tips to our investigators. If you prefer to speak to our investigators directly, we welcome that. You're free to call our investigators' office at 864-942-8407. You can speak to someone or you can leave a voicemail. You do not have to leave your name or phone number or anything like that, but we need somebody to speak up because we know that there is a person out there who has knowledge of what happened that night, and we need to know who that person was. So again, if you could, the ways to access us are numerous. We encourage you to do the right thing and call that information in. The billboard has been erected at the intersection of Highway 72 and Highway 221, and hopefully we're hoping and praying that by having that up in people's memory every day, as Ms. Child said, that somebody will do the right thing. If there's any questions, I'll entertain those at this time.
Are there any leads that you guys have to give to the public that may spark somebody's memory at all about what happened?
The best thing we can tell people right now is that most of what we heard that night and since then was that a dark-colored vehicle left that street after the suspect fired shots out of it from the window. And if anybody knows, somebody's been talking. We know that people talk in the neighborhoods. Somebody, the thing about it is most of the time when somebody does this, they brag about it to somebody. So eventually that information is going to get out, and we need that information filtered back to us so that we can track it down.
Are there any persons of interest at this point?
We don't have anybody that we can name because even though, like I say, we've poured over surveillance footage and whatnot, we've not been able to positively identify anybody that was in the car. So we're looking very heavily right now. We're looking for someone to turn in, even if it's not the shooter. We need to know who was in that car. We need to be able to get down to what happened that night.